What in the heck is up, guys? It's Jacob here, and today I'm responding to a video request on my forum. Someone asked me about doing a video on pfSense firewall for port forwarding. So it's actually quite complex, and it took me a while to figure out how to do it. It's not like a normal port forwarding like you would on a router or something. It's a little bit more advanced in pfSense. So yeah, someone just asked me on the forum today, so I made this video first out of all the other ones because it was just quick to do, and I could probably do it in one shoot without editing. So I'm just gonna shoot it real quick and upload it. So, anyways, on the tabs up here, you're gonna end up going to firewall because it actually is a firewall rule. If you guys go to my firewall video, I explained that the firewall pretty much sets all the rules of what can go in and out and what packets are allowed through. So that's what port forwarding is. It allows devices to connect to your devices or whatever. It allows other people to connect to your devices from another network. It's allowing the internet to connect to your own devices on specific ports and allow them to be open to that computer or that device, whatever the heck it may be. Um, so for here, I mean, I have a lot of them. Um, I don't really like showing all my ports, but I mean, you guys could do a port scan anyways and probably find these, so I'm not really gonna bother hiding them. All these are obviously password protected if they needed to be. But anyways, a lot of these are just secure shells into my servers, so I can secure shell into them and whatnot. But this is all my port forwards. So basically, when you'll get here, there'll be a list of nothing. There won't be anything on the list if you haven't set any. So there will be these little boxes over here, and they're kind of complex. I don't even know what the hell they all do. But anyways, you'll see the one with the plus sign. I mean, they're pretty obvious. Like, I don't know what this here does, but you'll see an X, which means delete one. You'll see a plus, which means to add a new port forward, and an E for edit. And then there's this arrow, which I don't even know what that does. And then you can check them and edit them too. But anyways, let's just say you haven't done any port forwarding yet, so what you would do is hit the plus sign right there. So it's going to allow you to make an entirely new rule. So first off, it's saying which interface would you like this to apply to. Well, 99% of the time it's going to be WAN because you're trying to allow devices to connect to your local network through your WAN, through your wide area network, which is your internet. Because you want to connect to a device over the internet away from home. That's what would use your WAN connection. So you're going to port forward through the WAN. Um, let's see. So I mean, basically, this is going to disable it. You don't want to do this. This is going to make it a not port, so it's going to make it like an opposite of port forwarding. You don't ever want to check that. It's just ridiculous. Um, anyways, a protocol, I mean, you can look up these and see which one you want to do. I always just do TCP/UDP. Usually TCP always works, but you can look these up and figure out what's best for you. Most of the time, unless you're doing some weird advanced stuff, you're just going to use TCP. That'll work for pretty much anything you ever do. Um, this page, I don't even know what it does. All I know is I've opened it up before and it just brings out more trouble. Just don't click that button. You don't need to click it. The advanced button, it does nothing you need to worry about. The destination, again, it's not. You don't want to check that. That just makes it so that it's not this destination address. Um, Again, that's another thing you wouldn't normally see, but you just ignore that. So leave it to go to the WAN address. The destination, you're port forwarding it to your WAN address, to your main global IP address. So the destination port range, this is what it's going to end up going to. This is the destination where it's going to end up at. So I'm going to port forward, let's just say I'm going to make a web server, okay? Um, I can make my ports. I mean, you can, if you know the port number, just put it in here. The red boxes are pretty much everything that's required. You can select HTTP protocol, right? But the thing is, it'll automatically do port 80 for you, and it's going to assume that you want HTTP to HTTP. I never use that. I just put in my own port number. So if it's HTTP, I just put in 80. But let's say I wanted this to be port forwarded from port 80 to 85. So this would go. What this would do is it would port forward 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, okay? So this server would be available on all those ports. This is your lower range and this is your higher range. Normally, it's all one number, but sometimes you may have a reason or you may want to have it on more than one port. So let's just say 80 through 85 for this example. Um, So that's what it's going to be on your global IP address. When you access it through your global IP address, this is going to be the destination port range. Now, this is the redirect target IP. This is the IP, the local IP of the address of the of the machine that you want to port forward. So let's just say, for my case, 10.0.0.106, which is this computer that I'm on right now. You just put in the IP address. That's obviously going to be different depending on your network settings, but this is the local IP address of the machine that you're looking to port forward. And this is the local port right here. So this is the port of the machine locally. So, I mean, this can be any port that it's hosting on. So let's just say it's hosting on port 80. And what's really cool is your local port doesn't have to be the same as your end port, your destination port. So it could be a web server that's hosting on port 80, but let's say I already have a web server hosting on port 80 and I don't want to host on port 80, but locally it's, let's just say a LAMP server or a WAMP server, so it's by default serving on port 80. You can change that in the settings of there, but it's much easier just to say, okay, let's host it on port 80, but let's put it on our global IP address on port 81, you know? I do that a lot with websites and stuff like that. So your destination port does not have to be the same as what your machine is actually hosting it on. But for now, let's just go 8385. Again, you can select the protocol if you want. I just use the port numbers because usually you know the port numbers you want to forward. Description, you can add like a little title to it, like you could just say, web server, just like that, so you know what it is. Honestly, I don't even know what the heck this is. I never check it. Don't check it. It doesn't do anything. Just don't use that. Let's see, keep going down. I mean, use everything's default. It's going to say add it as an associated filter rule, which makes it a rule that the filter will, recognize and allow that port to be forwarded. So now we can see it popping up down here as it's going to our WAN port. It's TCP/UDP. These are just the source addresses and the source ports. Don't worry about that. That's just got a wildcard in there. And then the WAN address, that's the destination address. So this is the card that's going on. This is the destination address, destination ports, and then this is the local address, and again the destination ports, and then the description. So that's pretty much it. But like always, guys, in pfSense, don't forget to apply your changes. This gets me every time. And I'll sit there and go, why the hell isn't this working? I'll be there for like 10 minutes, and it's ridiculous. So make sure you always save the changes, and then you can pretty much close it, and you should be good. I mean, I don't really know any way to test it, because, I mean, I have so many ports already open on port 80 and crap. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I don't even have this many web servers, but for some reason I have a lot of things port forwarded to 80. But anyways, trust me, it works. That's how you port forward in pfSense. Pretty simple. If you guys have any more questions, or if you want to know anything more about that, just go ahead and hit me up on my forum site. And also, you can hit the E. So let's just check this and hit E. And you can always go back in there and edit it and change whatever you want to change, or just make some adjustments or whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and hit cancel. Go back here, and you can also just check it and delete that rule. Of course, it's going to ask you right up here. Chrome is popping up with a little like Java thing that says, do you want to delete it? Yes. And it deletes the rule. So magic like that is pretty simple once you've got it. Oh, and even when you delete a rule, you have to apply the changes. So it's pretty simple. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial. If you guys have any more questions, go on over to thehackhub.com and go to the forums and ask me for video requests or questions or whatever in there. And like always, guys, have a good one.